Ahoy, and welcome to the story of Italian Smackdown. Smackdown kicked off with Gunter having none of it. He destroyed both announce tables, the regular announce table and the Italian announce table, and threatened that he wasn't going to leave until he got justice for what happened to him. Cody Rhodes came out to talk to him, as did Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn was not happy that he'd been pushed to the back of the queue, and in a heroic attempt, actually helped Cody when Gunter started attacking him. Sami Zayn attacked him, got him off. Gunter ended up getting back in, attacking Cody again. Sami Zayn was out of the ring and pulled Gunter out of the ring, and then Cody did a suicide dive. Gunter pushed Sami in the way and Cody went straight into Sami. Sami was a little bit unhappy about it leaving and refused to shake Cody's hand. I did like that Sami was still being a good guy in this one, and it was unfortunate that he was still blaming Cody on the suicide dive when that was clearly Gunter's fault, but I like that he's still involved in the mix. The opening match of the night saw a fatal four-way qualification for the Queen of the Ring, which saw Raquel Rodriguez taking on Jacey Jane, taking on Kiana James, taking on Bayley. It was a really good match that I was sure Jacey Jane was going to win going through the match, but to my delight and surprise, it was won by Raquel Rodriguez. Story of this match was Kiana James doing really well with Julia supporting her at her side. She originally was going to leave her out there alone, but Kiana James told her to come out with her for the match during her entrance. During the match, she helped her several times, but there was one moment where she had her foot on the ropes, and Kiana James had her foot on the ropes, and this was taken off by, I believe it was Jacey Jane. Julia then attacked her to knock her down, but when Kiana James turned around, she saw that it looked like Julia had pushed her legs off the rope and she got quite mad. This ultimately led to the finish with Raquel Rodriguez winning, and then after the match, Kiana James was laying into Julia in the ring. She pushed Julia took it for a little while, then exploded, jumped and gave her the Luther's press with the punches a la Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then left the ring to cheers. Looks like that is going to be the feud moving forward. Then the story of the women on SmackDown. So you had Rhea come out to the ring with a little bit of an injury, talking about her victory against Jade at Clash in Italy and how she has put Jade behind her. This brought out Charlotte Flair, who mentioned how happy they were that they'd been friends recently and she'd enjoyed teaming with her, but she's gonna win the Queen of the Ring, and then she's coming for that title from Rhea. This brought out Tiffany Stratton, the US champion, who said she looks really good with the US title, but she is after the WWE title that Rhea has. I did like this, keeping her all involved in the mix. This brought out Jade and the baddies. Jade said she was no way done with her title aspirations, and this led to a tag match between the two teams. It was Charlotte and Tiffany against Jade and michin. It was a really good back and forth match between the four of them, with B-Fab getting involved on the outside. Ultimately led to Jade Cargill picking up the win on Tiffany Stratton after interrupting the best moonsault ever and hitting her with a jaded. Kathy Kelly was talking to Fatal Influence backstage after Jacey Jane's loss. She wasn't very happy and mentioned how she deserves to be the queen. We then moved slightly and saw that Brie and Paige, the tag team champions, were taking part in a photo shoot. Fatal Influence went off to the side and attacked them, taking them out. Backstage, they picked up the tag belts to see how they looked on them before dropping them back down. I assume this is the next feud for the tag team belts on the women's side. The other story on SmackDown was Royce Keys, the MFTs, R-Truth, and Damien Priest. So Royce Keys had a match against Tonga. in which the rest of the MFTs were out keeping an eye on. Royce Keys did very well. Story of the match was him trying to slam Tonga but not quite being able to lift the massive giant. Towards the end of the match, Solo Sikoa interfered. The rest of the MFTs interfered. Royce ended up losing to the choke slam move that Tonga does. And then there was a beatdown after the match. Now, R-Truth ran out to help save Royce Keys, also got beat down. Damien Priest ran out to save R-Truth, but took him away from Royce Keys and they left Royce Keys in the ring. Later on in SmackDown, Solo met Royce solo backstage and said to him maybe he needs to stop making things difficult and he should team up with the MFTs. Interesting story beat there. Didn't like Damien Priest still not liking Royce Keys, especially given Solo and the MFTs have quite clearly not got a pre-existing arrangement with him, but he may end up getting forced over there. Interesting. I could see Royce Keys being a good part of a group. I am interested to see where the bloodline goes with Jacob, and I can see him going against the MFTs. Sami was unhappy backstage. He'd been screwed over again and he wanted a moment of Nick Aldis's time. Nick couldn't give him the time because he had a very important meeting to attend, and then the person whose meeting it was came into screen. It was Chad Gable. Ricky Saints and Carmelo Hayes had a match. Carmelo almost won it early doors by hitting his frog splash whilst he was still in his ring entrance gear, but Ricky Saints did kick out. Good back and forth match between their two, similar to their previous match. This time round, Ricky Saints won with a roll up and grabbing a handful of tights. This puts them at one match apiece. Chelsea Green asked Tiffany to come out to the ring with her, but she declined. She went out by herself to take on Lash Legend and Nia Jax. She did really well, almost pulled off the victory, but ultimately Lash Legend won with the Lash Extender. No sign of Tiffany Stratton. What a shame. Really good backstage segment with Trick Williams and Bron Breakker. Trick Williams was given a little promo talking about how he's going to be the king. Bron Breakker walked in, went straight up to his face, nose to nose, just stared at him for a bit. The only bit I didn't like is when he left it, he said, "See you out there." I would have had him silent and walk off, but it was a good backstage promo. And the main event of the evening, a fatal four-way, Trick Williams, Dominic Mysterio, Damien Priest, and Bron Breakker. Originally, I was thinking Bron Breakker was going to win this one. It was a good back and forth match. The finish came with Liv Morgan getting involved, giving Damien Priest a low blow, leading to the 619, and Dominic Mysterio won. Looking to have Dominic as the king of the ring and Liv as the queen of the ring. But little did Dominic know that his next opponent in the King of the Ring tournament is going to be Oba Femi. I see Brock Lesnar getting involved in the Oba Femi match to give Dominic an easy win and advance to the final. Not sure who he's going to face in the final. Maybe Seth Rollins. Let's see how the other qualifications go next week. And that was SmackDown. I thought it was a good SmackDown overall. I always enjoy the ones that are in Europe as they're on at an earlier time. I get to watch them a bit easier. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you back here for Raw.